My name's Katherine Newman. I'm the provost of the university, and it is a special honor for me to welcome our neuroscience community, especially our guests from other institutions. But I want to also remark on the presence of our colleagues in engineering, in computer science, in public health, in the various departments of the arts and sciences, including biology and psychology. This is a really monumental event, in my opinion, because it marks not only the sort of epicenter, if you will, of developing neuroscience, but a new way on our campus for thinking about how we develop ideas and plans for new fields more generally. This process we call the Future Seminars brings people together who want to think out loud and brainstorm with the very best minds on campus and around the country about what the challenges are ahead of a field. What are the major research topics that are going to drive the field over the next decade or so? And how should our vision of that field then drive who we hire, how we train our students, how we position ourselves for major research grants? This is particularly important because neuroscience is the intersection of many different fields on campus, as well as a growing influence on translational science. So I'm delighted, for example, to see Peter Reinhardt here, the director of the Institute for Applied Life Science. We have colleagues here from the medical school, where we expect to develop a very strong and robust intersection as they invest in neuroscience themselves. Colleagues coming up from Bay State, where we're developing a nice collaboration that will, we hope, lead to opportunities for clinical trials, and for the engagement of colleagues at Bay State in the translational research enterprise here on campus. So we've got a lot of lines of intersection coming together, and that is always a rich opportunity for us to make a major mark in a field that we all know is integral to what many people call the decade of the brain. So I'm here to learn. Unfortunately, my office only lets me out for a short time for these learning exercises. I get to stay for just a little while this morning and then come back to join you at lunchtime. But I want to welcome you all, thank all the deans, and especially Sally Powers, who I know was absolutely critical in organizing this entire effort and for gluing this intellectual community together to develop this program. So welcome and thank you, and then I think my colleague Steve Goodwin is up next.
So this neuroscience initiative has been a long time in the making, but it certainly had a lot of supporters along the way. Very early on, the chancellor bought into neuroscience, and he recognized that it had the potential to have a really significant impact on the campus, and he's been a strong supporter. And I was very glad to hear the provost said that she thought this was a monumental event, since it was in large measure her idea to have this event. And she's provided a kickstart several points along the way, and we're very appreciative of what she's done to help get us to this point, and the support we know that she's going to give us in the future as we move this forward as well. As the Provost noted, we do have some of our partners here with us today, and these partners are really important to make this initiative work. And certainly Institute for Applied Life Science, represented by Peter Reinhardt here, is going to be a very important player in all of this. The medical school, represented by Jose Lemos here, is also just absolutely critical. I'm really very hopeful that this neuroscience will be one of those early places where the flagship campus and the medical school really come together and do some things in a constructive way that maybe neither of us would be able to do alone. So we're very excited about that. I also want to acknowledge that Dean Marjorie Alien is here from the School of Public Health and Health Sciences, and Dean Bruce Croft from the College of Information and Computer Science. And it's a new college that we're just creating. We have great expectations for what it's going to accomplish on our campus, and we're very hopeful that interacting with neuroscience and finding those interfaces with neuroscience will be one of the great things that the college does as it moves forward. We're also very appreciative for our 4 external guests today, and for their willingness to come and to do this. When you take on something like this, you're trying to find some people who have really thought deeply about the discipline, have thought about what the possibilities are, what the opportunities might be. Frankly, you want people who are right in the thick of things. while they also happen to be people who are really busy and doing lots of things, so we're very appreciative that they were willing to take the time and join us today. What we're trying to do here is actually pretty straightforward and simple. We want to think a little bit about what we do well, maybe some things we don't do so well, how we might do them a little bit better. We want to think a little bit about the field itself. Where is it going? Where is it headed? What are the next set of opportunities? And then we want to take those two things and we want to put them together. We want to ask ourselves, what can we do uniquely as a campus with our partners out there to do some things to actually move the field forward in the next 10 years? We're not going to be able to do everything. We need to think about where's that synergy of opportunities that are going to allow us to really do some unique things and create our own signature around neuroscience here on the campus. And before I turn the podium over, I want to two other sets of thank yous. First, I want to thank Wendy and Amanda and everyone who worked on the logistics of this. Getting something like this together is a lot of work, so thank you very much. And finally, I want to thank Sally, and I want to thank the Neuroscience Task Force. So this task force was created more than a year ago, and it has really worked diligently to be thoughtful about what can we do on the campus. Where are we? What are the next steps in terms of moving us forward? It's put in a tremendous amount of work under Sally's leadership, and I really, really do appreciate it. So Sally, thank you very much. Thank you to the task force. And I got to tell you, I am really looking forward to sitting and listening for a while here. So Sally, it's all yours.
Is to just tell you a little bit about the structure of the morning, so you know what to get ready for. And I want to also give you just a little bit of context about how we got here to this event. First of all, I want you to know you're in for a ride. You're going to hear 5 really jam-packed presentations this morning that are going to be giving an overview of neuroscience at UMass Amherst and also at UMass the medical school. And we're going to begin with a talk about the theme that really has the most developed history here at UMass Amherst, and that's neuroendocrinology. We're going to continue through other large themes of neuroscience, ending with arguably the newest area of neuroscience growth on the Amherst campus, and that's models of brain dysfunction and disease. And that's an area representing the emerging opportunities on campus that Katherine spoke about for translational neuroscience. The 4 UMass Amherst presentations are then followed by a presentation from UMass Medical School, our partner in building neuroscience across the UMass campuses. And then we're going to end the morning with our 4 external advisors highlighting for us their views of the major issues to be addressed in the future of neuroscience. I do want to note that there is no official break in this entire morning, so when you need to leave, we know people have classes to teach and so on and so forth. We invite you to leave and then come back at your leisure, and there's coffee always here. This Neuroscience Summit, as Steve has remarked and Katherine, is really an important milestone, I think, in the campus's planning for the future of neuroscience at UMass. Most of you know neuroscience has a robust history here on campus, particularly our graduate program in neuroscience and behavior. But it was about a year and a half ago that Steve asked us to form a strategic planning force on neuroscience. And the goal was to identify really what are the strengths and the challenges that we would be met with if we wanted to expand neuroscience on campus and expand it in ways that would incorporate all the different scientists and disciplines that were now engaged in neuroscience-related research. We did form that task force. It's a very hard-working, there's been a consistent core of dedicated faculty. But we did also maintain very fluid boundaries with that task force, inviting feedback and participation from our very broad neuroscience community of faculty. We produced a strategic plan, which is on the CNS website, and I want to invite all of you to read it if you haven't and give us feedback on it. We appreciate your comments. The plan lists over 95 UMass Amherst faculty who've identified themselves as involved in some type of neuroscience research on campus. And as has been mentioned, they include faculty in engineering, public health, nursing, social and behavioral sciences, and then many departments within natural sciences, from biology to vet and animal sciences. If you would like to be more fully involved in the work of the task force, which is continuing, we'd like for you to note it on that. There's a sheet on that you sat on your chair, feedback form. So just note if you'd like to be more involved, and we'll get back in touch with you. I do want to acknowledge 12 core members of the task force who really put in consistent, tireless effort over the past year and a half. The full list of the task force members is on the back of your program. So I would like to acknowledge Luke Remich-Healy, David Moorman, Agnes LaCruz, Jackie Curlin, Gunglin Lee, Jennifer McDermott, Rosie Cowell, David Huber, Jerry Downs, Rolf Karlstrom, and Jeff Blaustein. And I want to give particular thanks to Peter Reinhardt. Peter came to UMass after the task force had already been working for some time, but when he was invited to join us, he jumped in with both feet, both as a neuroscientist and as director of the Institute for Applied Life Sciences, and his full participation has really been a crucial part of this endeavor. And Steve thanked Wendy and Amanda Leigh Harkins, who've really made the task force work possible. Before I turn the podium over to Luke Remich-Healy, who's going to start us off, I want to bring to your attention one aspect of all of these UMass presentations. You're going to see that the research of many laboratories are mentioned under more than one theme. And that's not a mistake. That is, in fact, we believe, a defining strength of neuroscience at UMass Amherst. Neuroscience at UMass Amherst is uniquely integrative. We're distinguished by a complex network of interactions across our labs and across our themes. So, as themes are described this morning, I want to invite you to look for your own place in these themes and get ready to join the growing network of neuroscience research at UMass Amherst and Worcester.